I went to Johns Hopkins, I went to UPenn, and I've ghostwritten college apps for over 960 clients. And you guys seem to like my how to write a perfect sob story video yesterday. So I will give you an example of a perfect personal statement sob story. So I'm gonna start. The kettle screamed before my mother did. At 5:14 on a January morning, milk climbed the saucepan and blistered across the stove. My mother stood by the burner with one hand clamped around the counter. The flame licked the spill, the spoon hit the tile, and then her knees folded. "Amma," I said. Her eyes stayed open. Her mouth shaped my name, but nothing came out. The paramedics reached our house in 7 minutes, and I counted each minute on the microwave clock because my hands needed a job. One of them asked what medication she took. I opened the cabinet, and amber bottles leaned against the shelf as a torn blister pack sat behind the cough syrup. A lab slip curled near the hinge. I knew how my mother liked her tea, but I knew nothing about the pills keeping her kidneys alive. At the hospital, the nephrologist drew a kidney on the back of a discharge folder. It looked like a swollen cashew with pipes. "Lupus nephritis," she said. "Her immune system is attacking the filters." Filters sounded really small. Coffee had filters. Our air conditioner had one my father forgot to wash. My mother had thousands of tiny sieves inside her, and a clinic pamphlet said that up to 60% of people with lupus develop kidney disease. Room 912 had a vinyl chair with a crack in the armrest. My backpack fit under it if I kicked it twice. After school, I sat there in my uniform and copied calculus beside the dialysis machine, and her blood moved through a clear tube. Under the glaring lights, it almost looked black. The machine clicked as if it were sewing her back into her own body. At home, the rice burned to the bottom of the pot, so I scraped it until my wrist ached. My brother stood in the doorway wearing socks with cartoon sharks, and he asked me, "Is Amma dying?" "She complained about hospital Italy today," I said. "That means she is still in charge." He smiled. For weeks, I acted like the hospital could stay within room 912, and at school, I would just nod through questions, and I would hide in the bathroom when my father called with lab numbers. I turned in homework because, after all, paper with my name on it looked a lot easier to deal with than a house with a missing mother. But then my mother asked for lipstick. She could barely sit up, and her hair had thinned by the temples, but she pointed to her purse on the chair, the red one. I found it under a pharmacy receipt. Her fingers trembled around the tube, so I held a little mirror while she drew a crooked stripe across her mouth. "Why do you need it?" I asked. "So the doctors remember who's bossy," she said. That moment gave me my assignment. I made a binder from an old debate folder. One page tracked medications while another tracked swelling. I wrote questions for the nephrologist in block letters. I also emailed my teachers before my assignments would pile up. I burned fewer pots of rice and learned which words made a doctor pause at the doorway. By April, when one of my classmates missed school after his father's cancer surgery, I recognized the hospital intricacies in his own backpack. I drew him a calendar with boxes that held chemo days and late homework. I taped a copy above my own desk, and each box made each day less daunting. Each checkmark said that somebody ate and somebody slept before the next sunrise. The kettle still screams every morning, but now I reach it before the milk climbs. My mother sits at the table with a chipped mug, her lipstick leaving a red crescent on the rim. I lower the flame and pour her tea. The crescent brightens. You see how that follows that formula I gave you guys yesterday? It follows it perfectly well. And look at that video if you haven't seen the formula yet. Anyways, enjoy. And if you need your essays ghostwritten, you know exactly who to call. The guy with the 99.6% client satisfaction rating. Follow for more tips.